Yes, we're back. What the heck? Wow. What the hell? I don't know what happened there. That's never happened before. All right. Let's see. Let's refresh. That has never ever happened before. Wow. No, not a CTD. I got a blue screen of death. The old BSOD. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. It just went straight blue screen on my ass. Holy crap. I was on a roll too. I have my yeah, complete meltdown. I had my timer here because I actually have to start timing my streams now because I only get so, YouTube only lets you upload so much. So I have to make sure that in order to edit out important things, I have to make sure that I keep things down. So we were about 25 minutes from the start of the stream, so I guess not too bad. But what a disappointment. Trying to remember what the hell it was I was talking about. I think I was going on about some nonsense about Flight Simulator being more realistic and forgetting that it's not real and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, my wanky commentary. Let's see here. Let's get some of these processes out of meow. I don't need that. Get out of here. What else? NVIDIA, Logitech, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. What was I flying before here? That's fine. So really sorry about that. That really sucks. I guess now we can go ahead and head on over into Tromso. Once again, pronouncing it probably improperly. But let's see here. Change airport. Echo November Tango Charlie. So we can go straight to it now. Echo November Tango Charlie. Here we go. Should I do fall or summer? I don't know. I feel like I want to show both like summer textures and winter textures too. I feel like that's what I want to do. You know what though? Probably what happened was I want to say probably because of the broadcasting software and those clouds, maybe I was putting too much on the CPU. That was some pretty heavy cloud coverage, and I only fly that way. I can't really fly that way when I'm broadcasting because it's something of a nightmare sometimes. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. I'm not really sure though. It couldn't have overheated because it's liquid cooled. So I mean, I just don't know. That was just kind of crazy. Oh, Yun, you're very mean. You're lucky Greg isn't here to rip you a new one. Where is Greg, by the way? Just send that guy a text message. He's missing out. All right, we're coming back. And let's see here. Gotta start up FSUI PC because I can't fly without that. Oh. All right. So I think we're back now. My apologies there. Really, really crazy. I'm not really sure why that happened. So anyway, the entire point of the stream was really to come to this airport anyway, but I just wanted to, if any of you have never thought about, one of the things I was pointing out with Bergen is, 10 years ago when that scenery first came out, or 11 years ago, however long it was, I hadn't really considered Norway or flying in this region of the world or anything. I just kind of stuck to what I knew. And I know a lot of people have a tendency to do that. They only buy what they know. And I like to try to encourage people to use Flight Simulator as a medium to kind of go in and explore the world and visit places you haven't, ever considered before, because it's worth it. And Flight Simulator really can stand in, as a place to, or means to tour the world. And, I'm sure a lot of you probably after a while get bored with flying into the same old airports over and over and over. And that was the case with me all those years ago. And that's why I bought the Cloud9 Bergen version way back then. That's the whole reason why I bought it. And when I bought it, it kind of just opened a whole new world to me. And after that, everything just kind of opened up. And I found myself buying airports and places and all over the world that I never really considered before. So if you've never considered Norway, or if you've never heard of Elrend, or whatever the case is, this is a very good opportunity for you to kind of use this stream as a means of not only discovering a new developer, but just discovering a whole new land class, a whole new place in the simulator world that you probably never would have considered before. And this is a very, very highly talented developer. I hold him in the same regards that I would hold, Flytemp or Flightbeam, because I mean he really is just that good, and his efforts are getting much better over his older stuff, which is why he's gone back and redid Oslo and Trondheim, which I know is not pronounced properly, but I know he's going to go back and redo that one as well. The old Cloud9 favorite Bergen he went and did, and of course we're just previewing that before everything went to hell with the blue screen of death, so my apologies. And I want to just throw another shout out again to Aerosoft, aerosoft.com, for providing the sceneries for the live stream. So if you're going to buy it, then I would recommend get it from Aerosoft directly. Great customer service there, and very, 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 very good quality stuff. So now here we are looking at the island of Tromso, and this was actually one of the areas that Orbix previewed, what was it, late last week, for the FTX Norway. And actually I saw for the first time someone actually mentioned, oh wait, where's my timer? Yeah, we got to reset the clock here. Cancel, start. So yeah, someone mentioned that Norway is actually the Alaska of Europe. So I actually didn't know that. And I guess it makes sense when you look at the terrain of Norway. It actually kind of makes sense, to be honest. All right, so what are we talking about here on the chat here? So the entire island has been faithfully represented. Very nice photoreal coverage there. And lots of buildings and other areas. I know there's a bridge there linking the mainland, which we'll head over and take a look at as well. And actually, if any of you are a fan of Singapore, if you have Singapore Airlines calendar, the island of Tromso is actually the feature image on of the December calendar of the 2014 Singapore Airlines calendar. So if you think those flight attendants are really hot, they feature a different flight attendant every month at a different destination, and they feature Tromso. Even though Singapore Airlines doesn't fly up here, I imagine they fly into Oslo, I'd have to guess. But nevertheless, this is an area that they featured in their calendar for this month. And I'm just going to head over and just take a look at that FTX, I'm sorry, not FTX, the Open LC Europe. Looking very, very nice. For those of you who have prepared, you know what I'm talking about. The default land class and textures really, really suck. In fact, that's one of the few things that FSX has over prepared, in my opinion, is that the default terrain actually doesn't look that bad. But with prepared, I don't know, they did something different with prepared, but it's really, really bad. It's really ugly, and I hated it to the ends of the earth. And so that's one of the reasons why I couldn't wait for FTX Global to come around. And when it finally arrived summer of last year, it was like finally I can get out of these, these default prepared textures because um, as a result, I refuse to fly out of FTX regions because that's just how bad it looks. So if you have prepared, then you already know how bad the default textures really are. But Orbix is pretty much taking care of us with the FTX regions, of course, with the Vector and FTX Global. But there's just nothing quite like Vector. Vector has really, really worked wonders for Europe, and make sure you have that Pilot's FS Global 2010 as well, because with all those things kind of put together, it really, really does change the entire landscape of Europe and makes it so much more realistic. So before we head into the actual airport itself, I just wanted to take a minute and look at the surroundings because as I mentioned early on in the stream, or at least the first half of the stream before before it cut out, I haven't actually seen this product up close yet. So I'm actually seeing it the same as you are, and my opinions that you see are coming live because I haven't explored anything yet. So just going through and exploring and seeing it for the first time, and I have to say it is quite impressive. And another thing that I respect about what many developers are doing nowadays is, unlike before back in the day, developers are not confining themselves anymore to just the airport surroundings. Or I should say just the airport itself. Developers have started to stretch a little bit, a little bit outside the surroundings, more and more and more, until now it's getting to the point where entire like city surroundings now developers are now adding into their airports, and it makes a big difference. It really does. So it's nice to see nowadays that everything doesn't just stop at the perimeter fence anymore. And in this case, it makes much more sense. I mean, if you can imagine, this product would not be the same if only the airport was designed without the entire island. And when you include the entire island, you also kind of make it more of a VFR experience as well. In flying lighter aircraft or like helicopters, like which I'm flying now, it makes it much more immersed to just enjoy. One of the things I mentioned in other streams is sometimes I get really lazy and I don't want to, if I don't feel like flying a plane or whatever, I'll just jump in a helicopter and fly around and just enjoy the landscape. Similar to what I'm doing now. And so the more realistic everything is, obviously, the better. So lots of custom houses there. The island is completely populated with trees, and I imagine it looks really, really beautiful in winter. And I'll have to go in and switch over to the winter textures just so we can take a look at that. Someone's noting there's no sound. Uh-oh. There should be sound. Hang on, let me pause here. Testing, testing, testing. Can I not be heard? Can anyone confirm? Pratt, can you hear me? Captain Gumbo? Just want to double check. Testing, testing, testing. The broadcast software says everything is working, so I hope I didn't just talk that whole flight there and no one heard anything I said. Okay, Pratt says everything's working. Okay, so we've got sound. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Yeah, that's the thing with this live broadcast stuff. Sometimes nothing works, uh, and the stream that I attempted to do a few days ago, nothing was working at all. Sometimes it's this broadcasting software. Just the broadcasting software is like a permanent beta, and it's an open source software. So you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes that's just the nature of the beast. But the sad thing is, I actually had a free trial for XSplit when I bought this AverMedia stream hardware stuff. And ooh, the wife is home. And it's kind of funny because I found that XSplit was absolutely no better at all than OBS was. So there was just no point in paying for an actual software if the free stuff was going to be about the same. So I just didn't bother with it. And then I know that NVIDIA comes with its own streaming software, but it just doesn't come with the same features that OBS comes with. So it does lack in a few features. Taking a look at those approach lights there that we just flew over, very nicely done with the breakwater there. And I really love the texturing on the runway here. I mean, it's very beat up, lots of oil stains and tire markings, and very worn out looking. Very nice. Some very high resolution ground textures surrounding the runways and taxiways as well. Looking very good. So we're sort of just right back where we started. And if you take a look at OpenLC Europe, just in the background there, across the sound, or across the waterway there, it really does stand in as a perfect backdrop to the scenery. So if you don't have OpenLC, then your setup is not going to look anywhere near this good. So that is something that I highly recommend. I know it doesn't come cheap because you have to have FTX Global, you have to have Vector and all that. And so once you put everything together, it can get pretty steep price-wise, but it's worth it. It is very much worth it. Taking a look at the hangars here, very nice texture work. We have some custom static aircraft here. Looks like a Q300 and a CRJ sitting here on the ramp. What does that say? West Air Europe Cargo. Oh, I've never heard of that. Taking a look at some of these textures here. Very nicely done. Loving the ground textures, very crisp. Nice little static helicopter. A part of me wonders what Yo Erlend might do once he runs out of Norwegian airports to develop. I wonder if he'll, consider moving over to Finland or Sweden. I know he would make a very, very kick-ass Arlanda. It's been a long time after, we had Simwings. They made their version of Arlanda, which is like way old. And Dream Factory Studios, they did Arlanda a few years back. But I can only imagine how good it would look if this guy did it. Could you imagine that Oslo type quality on Arlanda? I think that'd be great. We already have Helsinki by A-Flight, and I was really hopeful that A-Flight would have still been around. I'm hoping that A-Flight is doing what iFly did. iFly, they made that wonderful 737, and then they released updates, and then we just kind of like never heard from them again. And so the jury was out as to whether or not they were still around or not. That's kind of the deal with A-Flight, is I'm hoping that he's like very quietly been developing like some like huge airport project or something, and it's just been really quiet, and then all of a sudden we're going to just start seeing previews, roll in. That may not be the case, but I can hope, I can dream. So one of the things I'm always picking developers apart is like airport entrances, parking lots, so on and so forth. This is all very nicely done. Have the car park there. And so getting back to the first part of the stream, we were talking about just the realism and the internal modeling. And one of the things I mentioned while we were taking a quick look at Oslo was the fact that he really went way out in terms of his internal modeling. And I mentioned that in this particular project, he took it a step further. And this is his best internal modeling as of yet. So for those of you who may be watching this broadcast either live or via the archive stream, and you say to yourself, I don't see the point of it. I mean, if you don't have this internal modeling, it's just not the same. What you'd be looking at is a wall, and then you'd basically just have to use your imagination and say, yeah, that represents a window, and yeah, I'm just going to pretend that there's something behind it, but I don't really care. As opposed to just actually having the glass displayed. which makes all the difference. I mean, this is how the terminal is rendered in real life, and why not have it rendered the same way in the flight simulator? If you're taking a look at that counter in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, then you can obviously see that the performance is very good. Oh, look at this little side circle window here. That's cute. Ah. I guess I should kind of mosey into the lobby there and take a look at what he did there. It looks like he even textured the ground, textured the walls, textured the ceiling. Very realistic stuff. We have some animated turnstile doors here. Why don't we try to just work our way through one of them here? If I can manage to land this helicopter. There we go. I think I'm going to have to slew in here. Yeah, I know Rolio's mentioning J.R. Schieffel or whatever. I'm not a fan of advertising on preview videos. So if there's ads, then chances are I won't show them off. I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, if you can imagine if ads just popped up all over AirDailyX in order for you to like see the daily news, you had to click off an ad or wait 5 seconds in order to clear an ad. I don't think you'd be too happy about that. Or if you wanted to read a particular post, you'd have to clear an ad. I don't like it. So I'm not a big fan of ads. Anyway, so now we're inside the main terminal here. And I have to say, that just looks so realistic. Look at the ground. You can see the mountains there in the background. I mean, that's just highly, highly realistic. Look at that view. That is a stunning view. Great ground texturing on the floors. Nice colorations. Lots of depth here. There's some glass there you can see on the stairway, which I guess that's the area that heads up through maybe security or maybe to the lounges. Have the SAS ticket counters here, and departure board. Departures will not be announced over a loudspeaker system. Really? That's very interesting. I guess you'd better be paying attention, huh? Good thing it's not a very big airport. I like the way certain announcements are done in Europe. For example, if you've ever been to Zurich, they actually hire like a man and a woman, like a male and a female, to do the announcements. And they hire people who have like very aesthetic sounding voices. And what they do is if you need to page someone to a certain flight or something like that, then you type it into a computer, and either the guy or the girl who's sitting somewhere in the airport, they get this message on a computer screen, and then they go in and then they make the announcement. I don't know if they still do it that way, but that's how they used to do it. And so that you just didn't get everybody who you know didn't know how to make announcements. Sometimes you get people who are like, flight SAS 321 is now boarding at gate 21. You better hurry up. So instead, they get these people who are like, you know, voiceover actors or something. I don't know, but they have like really, really like sexy, like deep voices, or you know, really, really like attractive female voices, and then they do all the announcements. And then I love like when they do the different horn sounds and dong dong. We really don't do that too much in American airports, but in LAX, the voices are now done by like an electronic voice. I actually don't like it. So it's like Siri is doing all of the announcements now. So you type something in, and then it's like, Singapore Airlines Flight 351 is now boarding through gate 345. All passengers must proceed to this gate now. I don't like it. It sounds really stupid to me. But anyway. So here's the lobby area. I know I'm probably spending a little bit too much time in here, but I'm just really, really, really admiring it. It looks very nice. So if you were taking a look at Bergen earlier on and taking a look at Oslo, now you really get a very, very good idea in terms of just how much farther he's taken this internal modeling. The modeling doesn't go all the way through to the air side or the departure side. So we'll have to just slew on over and take a look. Yeah. I can't slew in here as well, though. I should pull back a little bit. Oh my goodness, this is big. Hang on. There we go. There we go. So very nicely done. You have some nice seating here, boarding areas. There's a guy sitting here. Is he animated? You know, it looks like he's just hanging out. You can see there, again, you have this nice dynamic shine on the glass. Some nice tiling there on the ground. Look at those chairs. I mean, could you imagine? That's what goes into scenery development now. You actually have to make the chairs and the tables. It's very nice. I am very impressed with this, and I just hate that it's taken me so long to get around to doing it. It has taken so long to get around to actually finally previewing this particular project. I'm not really good at slewing, so a lot of my movements are really fast. If I zoom in, it might be better to kind of see the insides here. Yeah, we got some folks moving around here. Let's see here if I can just slew up just enough so that we can take a look at the cafes here. I mean, look at that. He's even got, what is this on his shirt? He's got some kind of logo on his shirt. I'm trying to get around and look at it. What is that? Interesting little artwork there on his shirt. Ooh, this guy's on a computer. Is he on ADX? No. Aerosoft. So this guy's waiting for his flight and waiting to see what's the latest stuff going on at Aerosoft. Very nice. Somebody should tell him about AirDailyX. All right, so I've got departure boards here. I guess you really don't need to make announcements for departures because you're like in one small room. I mean, if you're too dumb not to realize your plane isn't leaving, unless you're stuck on the toilet, then that would suck. You better hurry up. Oh, look at that. Some windows there looking out into the outside world. Oops, what did I do? Look at that. That beautiful landscape there outside the window. And have some nice ads here on the walls. Very nicely done. In a terminal like this, when you have this beautiful landscape surrounding it, you really should have large windows. I mean, look at that view. I mean, it's obviously this is a very beautiful place, and I need to add it to my list of places to actually go visit in real life because it really is a beautiful place. I mean, if it looks this good in the simulator, then it must look just spectacular in real life, obviously. I'm sorry, I just want to slew just above the ground level here. There we go. I want to see what the world looks like. I've never been in this airport before, so now I can actually see what it looks like. So this is kind of what I mean, what I was talking about earlier by saying, you know, you can visit places in the simulator and actually get an idea of what it's like in real life. You can actually go and tour places. Very pretty. And this airline with the Q300 out there, I'm not going to even try to pronounce it because I know I'm going to butcher the name up. But look at that. Isn't that a very realistic look there? Come on, rotate. Yeah. Very nicely done. I love the quality of the glass, ground textures. You have the glass jet bridges there. So, let's see. We have night lighting to do, and then of course we have winter textures. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a look. We're going to take a look at the light texturing now because I'm going to have to stop the simulator, go into the control panel. Look at this guy sleeping here. I'm going to have to go into the control panel and change to the winter textures, and I have to obviously stop the simulator in order to do that. So that would be the next step. And we want to just take a quick look at what the terminal looks like from outside, obviously, when you're at the gate. So look at that. This is beautiful. And this is one of the reasons why this is one of my very favorite developers. Very nicely done and highly realistic. Let's take a look at some night lighting real quick. Let's see here. Options. And I'll take a look and see if you have any questions here in just a moment. Going to go to the time preview. And DJI says he finds the night is too bright. Well, we're going to take a look now. Let's see here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. All right, folks, sorry about that. Let's see here. Full screen. Okay, time preview. Here we go. There's the sun working its way across the sky. It's on its way to set. Getting darker. I love the way shadows work in prepared. That's just something you don't get in FSX. Very realistic. Wait, what happened to the nighttime here? Oh crap, I'm tripping. That is so funny. There is no nighttime. That's right. There is no nighttime. I'm like, I'm waiting for it to get dark. Hang on, because this really is hilarious. Look at this. I'm just gonna pull back really quickly so you guys can see this. I totally forgot, given where the location of where we are. The sun goes across the sky. This is nighttime here. It's 8 o'clock now. It's 8 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock at night. This is what 10 o'clock at night looks like. Now it's 11 o'clock at night, and now it's midnight. So now it's midnight. Now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock. What the hell? That's hilarious. Let me try. I guess I have to go to winter in order for us to really see the night texture. So why don't we go ahead and do that now? Because I think winter is when it gets dark, if I'm not mistaken. I think. So why don't we go ahead and try that now while I kill the simulator here. And while I do that, say hello to my bear. While I do that, let's go in and try to find that control panel here. I think it's an Aerosoft. Bergen, here we go. Config tool. I think this is it. Here we go. So this is very important. So we have here 3D lights, 3D passengers, dense equipment, static aircraft, which I'm fine to keep, animated vehicles, 3D grass. Let's go dense on 3D grass. Street lights, 2048 textures, city models, extra 3D passengers. Oh yeah, I'll take that. Runway markings. Let's go with yellow since we saw white. And let's go with winter. We'll go with winter season. And install selected. And once again, brought to you by Aerosoft. Thank you very much, Aerosoft. Okay. Well, I hit install, so I'm assuming it installed. So, all right, let's kill that. Errors occurred. Uh-oh. Permission denied. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's try this again. Let's run as administrator this time. Yes. Okay, let's see. Extra 3D passengers, yellow markings, and winter. Yeah. Oh, and dense. Animated vehicles, grass, everything else is checked. Okay, install. There we go. Okay, it worked that time. Okay, so let's kill that, and then let's restart the simulator, and then hopefully we can get some nighttime now. All right. Thank you, Captain, for putting the link there to the Aerosoft shop. Yes, in the first half of today's stream, we looked at Oslo and Bergen, and then I had a nasty blue screen of death. Don't know why. So the second half, we went on ahead and started right up with Tromso. And so now, Rolio says in winter, it's dark all day. So that's where we're going now, because obviously during the summer, it's light all day. Gosh, I guess that could drive you crazy living up there. I know in Alaska, in many parts of mainland Alaska, alcohol is illegal because people go crazy with daytime all day or nighttime. You go through months of darkness or months of daylight, and there's nothing to do, and people get bored and they wind up drinking themselves to death. So they actually outlawed alcohol to prevent that. So now you have like this prohibition thing going on up there, and this alcohol smuggling rings and stuff trying to, and then of course hooch. There's always that homemade alcohol and all that stuff. So I don't know if the same sort of thing applies to Norway or not. I don't know if they have a high suicide rate or anything, but obviously if you're not used to going for days with the sun up or going for days without sun, that could probably drive you crazy. Although I would think that I would like to experience it at least once in my lifetime, just to see what it's like when you get up at 9 o'clock in the morning to go to work and it's pitch black dark outside. That would be like some end of the world kind of stuff. It's like 12 o'clock in the afternoon and there's no sun. So yes, we are in prepared V2, and we are going to take a look at the night textures now and winter textures. So if it's dark all day with the winter textures, there has to be a certain date that I can plug in, so at the very least we can get some kind of daylight to look at the snow textures, because one of the things I notice is he dumps snow all over the jet bridges, and that's going to be kind of fun to look at. So let's see here. Go back and find my little helicopter here. That'll work. That's fine. This time we want winter. Let's try 9 a.m. and just see what the light looks like at 9 o'clock in the morning. And airport. Echo November Tango Charlie. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Oh, what should I do about weather? I'm going to take another chance again and try to add some weather again. Maybe take the visibility down a little bit and try to make it look a little realistic at least. Let's see. It might be too dark though. We're going to find out in a minute. Captain says alcohol is expensive in Norway. No El Cheapo stuff, huh? Yeah, vector is not a requirement. Just going through your comments here, I think they said vector is not a requirement for OpenLC Europe, but to not have it is like, I don't know how I could put it into perspective for you, but it's one of those things where you really want to have it. Well, this is what 9 o'clock in the morning looks like during the winter season. I'm probably gonna have to change to summer season just for kicks and giggles so we can look at the winter textures. I'm not sure yet, but I'll figure it out. I actually turned on thunderstorms. I don't want the lightning, but I only wanted the type of thunderstorm clouds. But since lightning looks so good in prepared V2, especially with the FTX, not FTX, with the Rex 4 Texture Direct that I have installed, lightning actually looks really, really nice in prepared V2. I can't hear the lightning though. Where is it? Oh, now it doesn't want to make any noise. Why is there no sound with lightning? Oh, that's weird. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay. All right, let's try here again. Oops, that was loud. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't blow anyone's brains out. Let me just double check the sound here real quick. Don't want things to be too loud. All right, so let's take a look at some of the night textures now. I mean, as far as the brightness goes, I actually like it. It looks fine to me. I don't like it when things are too dark and I can't see. So, don't want that too loud. And this is actually a part of the airport that we didn't actually take a look at, which is this part of the terminal here. Really like how those lights light up in the background. And there's actually some internal modeling here as well in this part of the terminal. We actually didn't see that earlier. It's like there's some curtains here, and they're kind of closed in some areas and open in others. In this particular boarding area, it's open. Very nice. What does the wording say there? It's covered in snow. That's pretty cool. You can't see it because the snow has covered it up. Look at that. You've got snow on the trucks. Look at this airplane. Boy, he got buried, huh? Very nice snow coverage on the airplanes. I actually like the brightness. I like that I can actually see. So it looks pretty good to me. Lots of caked up snow patches here. This is probably the best representation of snow I've ever seen in FS, to be honest. Very well done. Wow, look at the snow, huh? Something that we're crossing our fingers that we'll get here soon. Probably not. In the very beginning of the first part of the stream, I was noting our global warming here in LA and that we're in the worst drought in California history, and we haven't really gotten any snow down here in Southern California in the past few years. So we're hoping we'll get some this year. It's raining pretty hard, and usually when it rains in LA, we get snow in the local mountains. So we're hopeful. We are hopeful. Oh, look at the quality of that. So right now we're not so much looking at the winter textures as we're just looking at the night lighting. I'm going to probably have to change over to some summer textures just to take a look at what the snow looks like during the day. I love the way the terminal is lit at night. And I went in and added extra people. So now in this part of the terminal, earlier there was no people here, which you would have noticed. But now we actually have people. And that's a really cool thing, and that's because we added additional people now. So now you've got some folks there at the self-check-in kiosk there, and you have some assistants here behind the ticket counters now. Very nice. Very well lit at night, too. All the guys look the same, though. They're all brothers. Just taking a look at what the outside looks like from inside here. Very nice. Quite realistic. Let's take a look at the other part of the terminal as well. Let's see here. Maybe if I just go through this wall. Let's see if this works. Yep, I'll go right through that wall. You know, I guess it would have been cool if he made it go all the way through, just for fun. Not that it'd be necessary, but I'm losing control here. Ah, come on. Okay, you know what? I'm going into slew mode. There we go. Alright, let's just take a look around the inside of the terminal at night and how everything is lit up. I gotta say, I mean, going all the way back to the FS 2002 days, I don't think I could have ever imagined that flight simulation would have ever come this far in terms of just how much detail we would eventually start to see. I mean, that is just incredible. And you've got a person here behind the counter. Very nice. Take a look outside the window. Very nice. All right, let's take a look at the approach lights and the custom taxiway lighting here. Very nice. And the performance is just incredible. Really, really digging the performance up here. So as far as your jet bridge animation, I think this is another one of those sceneries that's really just coded to work with AES. I don't think it has the Control J option. I'll have to take a look at the manual and see. It would be nice if it did. But we'll take a quick look at the manual. Got a little tunnel there going underneath. Let's see if these approach lights are lit up on the on this breakwater here. Let's see if I can move the eye point into position. There we go. Very nice. So some very nice custom approach lighting here. I wonder if the water here is frozen or not. I can't really tell because it's nighttime. Look at that. I got to tell you, this is actually one of my favorite sceneries already. I mean, this is the first time I've seen it. I really don't have anything negative that I can really say to rip it apart, or to say this or that could have been done better, sort of thing. I mean, it's a small scenery. It covers the entire island. It blends in perfectly with Open LC Europe from Orbix. I mean, the whole thing comes together very, very beautifully. It is a terrific scenery. I can't wait to fly in here. I am really looking forward to it. Very nice custom lighting. The night lighting looks terrific. The snow textures are incredible. In fact, I think it's time now to try and find some daylight. I'm going to play with my time preview one more time and see if there's any daylight at all. So right now this is 10 o'clock in the morning. Look at that. It actually gets a little bright from between, this is 11 o'clock a.m. and then right around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, this is how bright it gets. And then, oh, then it gets really dark. And then it gets a little bright again. So these are your winter, this is your winter time preview. There's 12 o'clock in the afternoon again. And then it just goes pitch black dark now. And then it gets a little bit light during the day. This is probably, but that's as bright as it gets. Yeah, that's as bright. This is as bright as it gets during the winter season. Look at that. Okay, so let's switch over to summer season. I know it's not gonna look right, but I just really want to see what the snow textures look like. So I'm gonna change the time and season here really quickly to summer, where it never gets dark, because I just want to see what the snow textures look like. So the background, you're not going to see any snow up in the hills or anything, but at least in the airport itself, you'll be able to see the snow and see that thick snow coverage that he worked obviously so hard to cover the airport with. Okay, there we go. I can cancel that. So only doing this just for kicks and giggles because I really want to take a look at those snow textures there on the buildings that we missed earlier. And take a look at one of these airplanes. I think it was this one that was really just caked up in snow. Look at that. Wow. Look at that snow. I mean, it just completely blankets the rooftops. You got some patches of snow on the ground here. I'm guessing that hanging cable there, is that like part of the GPU? I'm guessing. You got some snow powder on top of some of the ramp vehicles here. Very nice attention to detail in those areas. So the only sad thing is during the winter you can't actually really experience the snow too much because it's just so dark. You can see that it's there, but you really can't admire the work because it's just so dark. But nevertheless, it is very, very pretty. Even if you just screw around during spring or something and leave you can go in spring and just say, oh, this is the last bit of snow before it melted. But anyway, you have the option of controlling the seasons manually, so that's a good thing. I'm just really liking the way he did the snow, the clumps of snow. This is the best snow work I think I've seen. The second best, I think, would be Flight Beam's Denver. He did a really great job with the snow there. So very well done on the snow. Great job with the night textures. I love the internal modeling. It is immaculate. You have some options in the control panel. You can have plenty of people walking around. So, I mean, it's a terrific scenery. It really is. I'm going to go to higher altitude now and we'll just take a look at the bigger picture here. And I'll take a look at any more questions you may have. And otherwise, that's it. I think we've plugged in about close to 2 hours of just plugging in Jo Erlend and his works, Oslo, Bergen, and Tromso, all of which were probably improperly pronounced. So if you're not really interested in Norway, I suggest you change your modus operandi there. Look at that bridge also. Very nice. Because Orbix is getting ready to take Norway by storm. And hopefully Tor Stranden, as you know, I don't know if Tor is watching, every now and then he tunes in, but you know, here's my another hint. Tor, come on, man, hurry up. We want Bodo. We want what's the other project he's working on? Drawing a blank. What's that scenery Tor's working on? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I'm really, really excited about Bodo. I know that has stopped, and I hope that comes next year. I really do. Because there's just so much coming for Norway. And I don't like flying over flat land. I like mountains and rolling hills. And so this is like the perfect topography for me, especially when it comes to VFR flying. I mean, this is really beautiful. And so the more we get, the better. So Torp is on the way. And I think Yo, he's going to have some great stuff for us. I'm willing to cross my fingers here, knock on wood, and bet that he's going to deliver at least 2 more airports for 2016 in Norway. I think so. And I'm really excited about it. The quality of work is just incredible. And I think he works on his own, too. I think he does all this work on his own. So it definitely says a lot. It really does. A lot of attention to detail, obviously a lot of passion in his work. And it really comes off beautifully. And if you don't have OpenLC Europe, you have to get it, because otherwise, you know, your surrounding environment just isn't going to look this good. It really isn't. So I highly, highly recommend it. So I'm just going to wait a minute, hang by, and see if there's any more questions about the scenery, about anything else that we showcased today. And I will try to have the archive together by this afternoon. If not, worst case scenario, well, I say this afternoon for me. Obviously, for a lot of you, it's late at night. But if not, then it'll be available definitely for sure tomorrow. And once it's available, I'll have a post on the main page. And try not to go too far, because I have not updated the news today. So I actually slept in a little bit today. So there we go. Spun out. Let me get control of me helicopter. For those of you wondering what I was flying. So yeah, definitely stick around, because I will be updating the news and the news page today. So don't go too far with that. And if there's no more questions, once again, just want to thank you guys for coming along and hanging out. And again, if you haven't felt that there's any interest, personal interest in Norway, then I suggest you really give it a chance. And Jo Erlend, he does a magnificent job in his works. It's funny, because when he did his older versions of his products, I thought they were absolutely kick-ass, and I didn't think they could get any better. And naturally, they've gotten, you know, it's night and day in terms of the quality he's delivering now and the quality he was delivering back then a few years back. So definitely keep your eye on this developer, because He's only getting better, and the quality is just it's magnificent. It really really is. So I want to tip my hat off to Yo Erland for a great job. Thanks again to Aerosoft for providing the products for today's stream. So you can pick up all these products at aerosoft.com. If you are in Europe or other parts of the world, just click on the corresponding flags, and you'll get to your local stores and local currencies and so on and so forth. So hope you enjoyed today's stream. Once again, I've really been doing my best to try to catch up for all the products that I've missed over the last month or so. So I'm on something of a rampage and really, really working and trying to get caught up. So there was more stuff released just this week. So obviously getting fully caught up is not really easy because there's just so much stuff that's constantly being released. It's not even funny. So, you know, just continue to stay tuned to airdailyx.net and just beware. I know I do a lot of these streams sort of like spare of the moment, and that's just, you know, it all depends on how much time that I have available to do these streams. So I know sometimes it's like I'll just say, hey, stream coming up in 30 minutes because I'm not really able to plan these things too far in advance. So when I'm not able to do that, just, you know, make sure you like us on Facebook so you get the alert. You know, or just, you know, check the daily news page. But I'm going to take a look and see what other products I haven't previewed yet that have been recently released, and then we'll see what I may be able to do for tomorrow. So just make sure you stay tuned for that. And remember, airdailyx.net for all your flight simulation reviews, news, information. Got some great reviews on the way as well. The Flight 1 GTN's coming up. The A2A C1, blah, 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 whatever the latest Cessna they released. I'm drawing a lot of blanks today. But yes, we've got some great reviews today. And remember, stay tuned to the news page because news is on the way as well. Once again, thanks to all of you who are always coming on board and helping out and moderating and just hanging out. Much appreciated. And once again, stay tuned tomorrow and say goodbye to the bear. And we'll see you guys again, hopefully tomorrow. And for those of you where it's nighttime and the sun really is down, have a great evening. For the rest of you, have a great afternoon and stay dry out there. Take care, everybody.